Well, hello and welcome to Marvin Gardens video November. Believe it or not, we're already 3 weeks into November, and a little more than that. And Thanksgiving is very late this year. We're a little less than a week away though, and it's getting pretty festive around here. In spirit, if nothing else. Now, I'll show you what the garden looks like in November. And there's not a whole lot to see, except for some of the stuff I haven't done yet. But first of all, let me say this. I'm going to be superimposing a lot of stills of the harvesting that was done in late October and the first part of November. And if you remember last time, this looked a whole lot different because we have harvested, processed, and roasted all the peanuts. So maybe we'll start with that. Here's a video of what we did since last month's video with the peanuts. So it's the middle of November, and this hat that I'm wearing, I would need it if I was outside, but we're in the greenhouse and starting the final processing for the peanuts. So I'm going to turn the camera around and kind of show you what's going on. And what's going on is that's what the plants look like after they've dried for a couple of weeks. And so we just have to go in here and pull off each peanut one at a time and put it in the pile here. Now, I don't know if you can't really tell the volume, and I won't know how much poundage we got till we're done. But that's the last plant, and this is all the plants after they've been de-peanutted. So that's what we're doing, and I'm going to finish this up and wash all the peanuts off, and then proceed with brining, which is what you're supposed to do before you roast them, and then roast them. And that's what's going on today. So we ended up with roughly 8 pounds of peanuts, and they have been cleaned, washed, picked of stems, and all that good stuff. And then they were brined overnight in a saltwater solution. And now they need to sit here and dry for 12 hours before they'll be dry enough for roasting. And so here they sit, but looks like maybe not a bad harvest if they all turned out tasting good. And finally, these are the Ziploc bags full of roasted peanuts that we ended up with, just stills, and they do taste good. So the brown ones that are mixed in there are a little less than ideal. I don't know if they're too old or too young, but we got a lot of good ones. So I'd say we'll call the peanut harvest a success. Meanwhile, bed number one is looking pretty much like no more. Although some of these brassicas do survive, including the kale, you can see that they're droopy and really not much of anything anymore. Brussels sprouts I've been known to harvest in the snow, but we won't be getting much of anything out of there. And of course the artichoke plants, some are deader than the others, but they are also done for the season. And well, actually everything's done for the season. Now we've got a lot of vegetable matter in our or plant matter, I should say, in the compost pile, but I'm still due to get another load of manure to kind of beef that up before it gets spread onto the onto the beds. And here's the grow house, and it is empty now. We went in there and pulled out all the vines. They get put on the compost heap, and I think we'll call this a success also. But I'm probably going to grow just 1 or 2 plants. I haven't decided what yet. I'm thinking pumpkin just for the fun of it, but we'll see. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but yeah, you can. See all those little holes? The one bad thing about this sort of cheap thing was that just the hot sun caused all those little holes, and so I'm going to have to actually augment that with some plastic or something. And I imagine I'm going to have to reattach this this screening too, but it's held up pretty well. Now, here's something that's still alive, and it's rosemary. And I already took 3 pots of rosemary, or 3 plants of rosemary, and potted them and took them inside, planning to have them as just herb pots that winter over. But that guy might winter over on his own, so we'll see. Most of what's left here is just the woody, stocky plants. All the other stuff, all the flowers, I mean, if you're interested, they're all listed right there. But they're all done for, and I pulled all the plants and put them in the, like I say, on top of the manure in the compost heap there. But these pepper plants and the tomatoes, as well as these the rest of these pepper plants and eggplants, they're all more woody, so I don't know if they're going to go into the compost or not, but I just haven't done them yet. And for some reason the pak choi looks like the centers of them are still alive, so I just let them there. I don't think I'm going to harvest them or do anything with them, but since they're growing, I'll let them grow. This, of course, is where the peanuts were, and you can see just the stalks remain of the what the heck are those? You know what they are. Okra. Now I remember what they are. And finally, the sad-looking remnants of our pole beans. But we had a very good harvest. And then these sunflower stalks that were out behind the grow house. So that leaves us with one more area of the garden that we're not going to go out to, but I'll show it to you. And that's asparagus. I need to go in there and just cut all those asparagus stalks down and put a layer of mulch over the rows. They say that's good, or compost, I should say. That's good for next year's growth. And they say taking the old stalks out helps get rid of the chance for asparagus beetles. And the fire pit area still looks inviting. In fact, the cushions are still out. In fact, a night like tonight would be one where we could actually come out here and have a fire pit. So we might think about that, because it's cool. It's in the 40s, I would guess, but it's dead calm, so it would be very comfortable out here. Just bundle up a little bit and sit around the fire. So we might do that. But really nothing else to show you out here, except for, of course, my little companions. Jolie just got a fine grooming at Top Dog Groomers right here in beautiful downtown Pittstown. So she's looking quite festive and has even got her her Christmas red scarfie on. Let me see if I can capture Frankie to show you the turkey scarf that he's got on, which of course Cassie has on as well. And then nothing much else to show you. Lights have come on the little pine tree out here. We'll change them to colored lights a little bit later. The pond is, well, the water's nice and clear because I finally got all the leaves vacuumed out of there. And but as you can see, there's not much left in the way of healthy looking greenery. But that's okay. That's the phase that the pond goes through. And I don't know if you've heard me tell you this before, but the fish have stopped eating, and they will not eat again until probably April or May, when the weather starts to warm up. They just kind of sit down there and rest out the winter. So that's what that's all about. And I'll just say that that's all there is. And there ain't no more. Because this is Marvin Gardens, November 2019. Oh, I'll say one more thing. And I didn't bring them out with me. But November, interestingly enough, is when you start, or potentially you start your garden for next year. Today I was at the grocery store. I bought a bunch of good-looking garlic, and so we get another mild day, and I'm going to break up all those garlics into cloves and plant them around one of the beds out there. I haven't decided right where, but and that will be the first planting of 2020 Marvin Gardens, believe it or not. And believe it or not, just today the Johnny's Seeds catalog for next year arrived. So, you know, the gardening season really never ends. It's just what you're doing. And we're all harvested up, including the stuff that sometimes I let winter over, like carrots and things like that. But sure enough, before it gets too much later, we're going to be planting for 2020. So again, Marvin Gardens, November 2019, and we're getting all ready for our exciting Vermont Thanksgiving, which we are very much looking forward to for many reasons. And then we'll be back, and in another month we'll be doing Marvin Gardens December, the last video of 2019. So that's going to do it. We're all going to go inside, and we've got some cooking to do and some packing to do, and so that's what's next on the agenda. So hope you guys are having a great beginning to your holiday season, and that of course you have a wonderful holiday season, whatever you celebrate, or whatever things you celebrate. You can celebrate all kind of things if you want. All right, I'm rambling. Shut up, Marvin. Okay, have a great holiday, everybody, and we'll touch bases again before the holiday season is over. This is November, Marvin Gardens 2019. See you next month in December. Mini horse next door. That's always exciting. Bye, y'all. Well, I said it was a good night for a fire pit, and I wasn't kidding. We could not resist. So even though it's chilly, it's warm by the fireside. And I don't know if you can see Cassie down there in her little red sweater. We are eating Sky Manor roasted peanuts by the fire pit. So now I'll say we'll see you next month in December, Marvin Gardens 2019. Bye, y'all.